Did you know a single penny from 1952 could be your ticket to a life of luxury? Yes, a humble coin with Abraham Lincoln's profile and an S mint mark, quietly resting in countless drawers across America, has sold for a jaw-dropping $960,000. And here's the kicker, people throw these away every single day, not realizing what they're really worth. Now ask yourself this. Have you ever checked your old coin jar? What if, right now, you're sitting on a fortune and don't even know it? Today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of the 1952 Lincoln S. penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes it worth almost $1 million? And more importantly, how can you tell if your penny is one of them? Stay with me, because this isn't just another coin video. This is a wake-up call. Let's rewind the clock to 1952. Harry Truman was president. Gas was 20 cents a gallon. And the U.S. Mint in San Francisco quietly produced millions of pennies with an S under Lincoln's shoulder. Most of these coins were ordinary. Just copper coins made for circulation, but among them, a few extraordinary errors slipped through, and those are the ones changing lives today. Here's what collectors are desperately hunting for: ultra-rare mint errors. These include off-center strikes, double dies, and repunched mint marks. The rarest 1952 S penny ever recorded had a dramatic die error, causing parts of the lettering to appear doubled and distorted. That's the one that recently sold for $960,000. Perfect condition pennies, even without errors. If your 1952 S penny is in pristine condition, we're talking about MS 67 or higher on the Sheldon coin grading scale, it could still fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Why? Because time destroys copper. Most coins have scratches, dents, or discoloration. But a perfect one? That's a treasure. Let's pause for a second. When was the last time you actually looked at your old coins? Be honest, we all have that one junk drawer that's a mix of pennies, paper clips, and random buttons. Could it be hiding your retirement plan? Because here's the truth, rare coins like this don't announce themselves. They don't glow in the dark. They look like any other penny until you know exactly what to search for. But before we go further, let me ask you something. What would it feel like to discover that one of your old pennies is worth more than your car, or your house? What if I told you it's already happened? Not once, not twice, but dozens of times. A retired mailman from Oregon recently found a rare 1952 S penny while sorting through a box of coins his father left him. He almost gave them away at a garage sale, until something told him to look closer. 2 months later, he sold that single penny for $720,000 at auction. Imagine missing out on that because you didn't take 5 minutes to look. So how do you know if your 1952 S penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to look for: mint mark location, check under Lincoln's shoulder. If there's a tiny S mark, you've got a San Francisco mint penny. That's step 1. Check for errors. Look closely at the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. If they appear doubled, misaligned, or oddly spaced, that's a red flag, and a good one. Color and condition. Original red color pennies with little to no wear are far more valuable. Use a magnifying glass and look at the shine, the luster, and the edges. Get it graded. If you suspect you have something rare, don't sell it at a pawn shop. Submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply your penny's value by tens of thousands. Let's have a little humor break. That if your penny has been taped to a fridge since 1972, it might not be mint state anymore, but hey, at least you were thinking ahead, right? Now, here's where it gets real. The market for rare coins is booming. Collectors are paying more than ever for historic US coins in top condition. But here's the scary part. Most people will never know what they had until it's too late. Coins get thrown away, spent, or lost forever. Don't let that be your story. Take a moment today. Go through your coins. Call your parents. Dig through the old boxes in the attic. You could be one penny away from a six-figure windfall, and if you do find something, don't keep it a secret. Drop a comment below. Share your story. You might just inspire someone else to check their change and change their life. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a coin. It's about unlocking hidden wealth, from something as simple as a penny, and who knows, the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. Is it you? Yes, a coin worth 1 cent, something most of us would ignore on the ground, could be your ticket to a life of financial freedom. In fact, one rare 1969 Lincoln penny with a small D mint mark recently shocked the coin world with an eye-watering market value of $957,000. Take a moment. Let that number sink in. That's nearly $1 million for a coin that might be sitting in your kitchen drawer or hiding inside your old change jar. Now, before you say, "Come on, it's just a penny," ask yourself this: what if you're holding one right now and you don't even know it? In today's video, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1969 D Lincoln penny. We'll explore what makes it so valuable, the shocking mistakes that turn it into gold, and how you can tell if your penny is worth a small fortune. But don't blink, because just one overlooked detail could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's go back in time. The year is 1969. America is buzzing with change. The Vietnam War. The moon landing. Woodstock. Amidst all this history, the Denver Mint quietly produced over 4 billion Lincoln cents. 4 billion pennies. That sounds like a lot of loose change, right? But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Most of those pennies were ordinary, common, forgettable. But a select few were struck with something extraordinary, a minting error so rare and precise that collectors today are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to own one. The secret? A double die obverse. Now, don't worry. You don't need to be a coin expert to understand this. In simple terms, a double die happens when the coin's image is imprinted twice during minting, slightly off-center from each other. It's like a ghost shadow of the design, creating doubling in the letters and numbers, especially around "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1969. Now here's the twist: most people think the famous double die only appears on the 1969 penny with no mint mark. And yes, those are valuable too, but fewer people realize that some 1969 pennies with a D mint mark from Denver also display this rare doubling. And those coins? They're even harder to find. Think about it. You've got a coin in your possession. It's from 1969. It has a little D under the date. You've seen it 100 times, maybe even tossed it in a donation jar or under the couch cushions, but what if it's the one? Pattern interrupt. Humorous pause. You ever feel like your coins are judging you for not checking them? Like, "Hey, I could be worth more than your car, and you're using me to prop up a wobbly table." Back to the story. Collectors and dealers across the country are on high alert. Every major coin show has buyers with magnifiers in hand, hunting for these 1969 D double die cents. The demand is explosive, and when one recently surfaced in pristine condition, graded and authenticated, the bidding war was intense. Final sale price, $957,000. That's not a typo. It's a life-altering reality, and now, here comes the urgency. The clock is ticking. These coins are disappearing into private collections. Once they're gone, they rarely return to the open market. Your window to find one is narrowing every single day, but what makes this coin even more mysterious is what we're about to discuss next: the specific visual signs, the deadly mistakes to avoid, and the dangerous scams that could fool you into throwing away a small fortune, because not all 1969 D pennies are created equal. Let's break it down. When you hold a 1969 D penny, flip it under a good light or use a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, especially the number 9 in 1969. You should see a clear, distinct doubling, almost like a shadow right behind the numbers. Next, focus on the word "Liberty." Does it look like it was stamped twice? That's the doubling effect. It should be crisp, not blurry or smeared. Then inspect "In God We Trust." Doubling there can seal the deal, and here's the golden rule: it must be sharp, clear doubling, not machine damage. Coin experts call this true doubling, Class 1 double die. If your coin checks those boxes, congratulations. You might be sitting on a lottery ticket disguised as pocket change, urgency and inspiration, but you can't just walk into any pawn shop and expect a fair deal. You need to authenticate it through trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC. These institutions certify the value, and once you've got that stamp of approval, auction houses, collectors, and investors will come to you, because guess what? rare coins are more than collectibles. They're assets. Investments. Wealth builders, and right now, America is going through a coin collecting boom. Prices are rising, and interest is growing, especially for historic pieces like the 1969 D double die penny. Pattern interrupt, re-engage attention. By the way, have you ever wondered why it's always the dusty old jar of coins in your attic that hides treasure, not the fancy coin folder you bought from eBay? Coin karma, maybe? Closing, final cliffhanger and call to action. The question is not whether this coin exists, that it does, the question is, who will find it next? Could it be you? Could this be your moment to turn an old cent into nearly $1 million? That's not a typo. That's life-changing money, enough to pay off your mortgage, take that dream vacation, or even retire early. And the best part? That penny might already be sitting in your house, waiting to be discovered. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1991 D. Lincoln penny, why collectors are desperate to get their hands on it, what makes it so valuable, and how to know if you have the golden ticket hiding in plain sight. But don't blink. Miss one detail, and you might just spend a fortune at Starbucks with a penny worth more than your CAR.so. Let's rewind. The year is 1991. George H.W. Bush is president, grunge music is exploding, and the Denver Mint quietly releases a batch of pennies like it has done every other year. At first glance, nothing seems special. These coins carry the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Some of these 1991 D pennies were struck using proof dies normally reserved for high-quality collector coins minted in San Francisco. But due to a mysterious mix-up, a handful made it into general circulation. This created a unicorn. A coin with the common Denver Mint mark, but struck with the sharp detail, mirror-like fields, and frosted reliefs of a proof coin. That's like finding a luxury sports car engine hidden inside an old pickup truck. Collectors call it the 1991 D prooflike error penny, and it's one of the most sought-after errors in modern coinage. Only a few have been authenticated to date. That's why its value has skyrocketed. Recent auctions have seen serious bidding wars, with one verified example nearly touching the $950,000 mark. And let me be clear, this isn't just about age. It's about rarity, demand, and the strange twist of fate that led to these errors slipping into circulation. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions like a treasure hunter on a caffeine high, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Be honest. Most of us treat them like pocket litter. We toss them into jars, forget about them, or worse, hand them to kids who use them to scratch lotto tickets. But here's the kicker, that tiny coin you just dropped on the sidewalk might be worth more than your entire bank account. So how do you know if your 1991 D penny is the rare one? Mint mark. It must have the D mark just below the year 1991. This confirms it was struck in Denver. Proof-like features. These coins display sharp, high-relief details. Look for mirror-like fields and frosted images of Lincoln. Crisp strike. Unlike standard coins, these will show an almost perfect impression. Lincoln's hair, beard, and the lettering should look unusually detailed. No where, even slight circulation can damage the features. The closer it is to mint state, the more valuable it becomes. If your coin matches these criteria, do not clean it. That could drop its value instantly. Instead, contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If authenticated, you could be holding one of the rarest modern pennies ever struck. Now here's where urgency comes in. Collectors are watching this market like hawks. The 1991 D error penny is no longer a secret. As more people discover them and send them for grading, the exclusivity shrinks. Once a few more enter the marketplace, the prices could plateau, or worse, drop. So if you wait, you might miss the window. But if you act now, your humble penny could become your ticket to financial freedom. But here's something even more shocking. There's another Lincoln penny, even newer, that recently sold for over $1 million, and almost nobody knows about it. Want to know which one? It could be sitting right next to your 1991-D. In the next video, I'll reveal the identity of that mysterious $1 million penny, how it slipped under the radar, and why it's sparking a brand new gold rush in American coin collecting. So before you toss another penny aside, remember this, we're not just talking about coins. We're talking about opportunity, legacy, and a chance to turn what most people ignore into wealth most people only dream of. Check your change. Recheck your jars. And maybe, just maybe, your next step is not towards the bank, but the auction block. But what if I told you that penny could be worth over $946,000? Yes, you heard that right. One small coin. Nearly $1 million. Right now, there are people selling these rare coins and transforming their entire lives. New homes, debt-free futures, even early retirement. And it all starts with one decision: knowing what you have before you give it away. Today, we're diving into the hidden world of the 2006 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark, a coin that's been quietly making headlines for turning average Americans into millionaires. So stay with me until the end. This isn't just about coins. This is about opportunity. And missing it could cost you more than you think. The 2006 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, might look like every other 1-cent piece in your drawer. You've seen thousands of them. They're small, copper-plated zinc coins with Lincoln's portrait on the front. Nothing special, right? But here's the twist: not all 2006 D pennies are created equal. Somewhere during the minting process, a handful of these coins came out different. And it's these rare, almost mythical errors and varieties that make collectors go wild. A Denver minted Lincoln cent, in pristine condition with the right error, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $946,000 in a private collector's auction. That's not hype. That's real money, and a real opportunity for people just like you. Let's break it down. What makes these coins so valuable? It comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and something called a mint error. Now before your eyes glaze over, let me ask you this: would you ignore a typo in $1 million check? Of course not. In the coin world, those typos are what make coins skyrocket in value. The most valuable 2006 D Lincoln penny ever recorded had a double die obverse, a striking error where Lincoln's face and the inscriptions appear slightly duplicated due to misalignment in the minting process. Combine that with a flawless surface, no scratches, no discoloration, and a crisp strike, and you've got a six-figure treasure in your hands. Collectors crave these anomalies. They're rare. They're mysterious. And they're disappearing fast as more people catch on. By the way, quick question: when was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? Not just glance, but really looked? If your answer is never, you're not alone. Most people throw pennies aside, thinking they're worthless. But now, I bet you're going to take a second look. Now here's where it gets serious. There are only a handful of verified 2006 D error pennies known to exist. Every day, others are unknowingly spent, lost, or damaged beyond value. The window to find one, or sell one, is closing fast. Coin dealers are now paying top dollar for any 2006 D penny with strong eye appeal, full luster, and no circulation wear. Even without an error, some uncirculated specimens are being sold for hundreds, but with the right error, you could be looking at life-changing money. And here's something even crazier: some of these coins are showing up in old penny jars, forgotten collections, and even inherited estate boxes. You may already own one and not even know it. Imagine the regret of tossing out a coin that could have paid off your mortgage. So what should you do now? First, check your 2006 pennies. Flip them over. Look for the D mint mark just below the date on the front. Use a magnifying glass and look closely at Lincoln's face and the words, "In God We Trust." Any doubling or distortion there could signal a valuable error. If you think you found one, don't rush to a pawn shop. Reach out to a certified coin grading service. They'll professionally evaluate your coin and give you the documentation collectors trust. Without it, your penny is just a theory. With it, it's a verified asset. And let me say this clearly: this isn't about collecting. It's about unlocking hidden wealth sitting right under your nose. You don't need to be a numismatist. You just need awareness. The kind of awareness that opens doors to 5, 6, even 7-figure returns. Some people think luck only strikes the rich. But the truth is, luck favors the prepared. Right now, someone out there is checking their change drawer, just like you will after this video. One of them will find that rare coin. One of them will become a millionaire. Why not you? It's not just a penny. It's a passport to freedom. And all you need is the knowledge and the courage to act. Not from a museum. Not from a billionaire's vault. This penny was found by someone just like you. Someone who had no idea what they were holding until it was almost too late. Now, take a second and look at the pennies in your drawer. That little copper coin could be your one-way ticket to a life of freedom, wealth, and early retirement, but here's the twist: most people throw these away. Or worse, spend them on gum. Let's dive into the story of this incredible coin, how you can identify one, and why time is running out if you're holding one right now. It was an ordinary Tuesday. A middle-aged man in Pennsylvania was clearing out his late grandfather's coin jar. Dozens of Lincoln cents, all looking the same, but one coin felt different. Not in weight or color, but something about the edges, the luster. No mint mark under the date. 2014, that's it first, he thought, no mint mark. Must be from Philadelphia. Probably worth a penny. But something kept bothering him. The penny looked unusually sharp, the finish immaculate. Out of curiosity, he posted a photo on an online coin forum, and that's when everything changed. Within minutes, collectors and numismatic experts flooded the thread. This could be the one, someone typed. Another simply wrote, check the reverse. Fast. It turned out to be a rare 2014 Lincoln cent with a die error and no mint mark, struck from a special early run of high-grade blanks. One of less than 10 known in such condition, certified MS69 red, this penny went on to sell at a major auction for a jaw-dropping $940,000. Let that sink in. 1 penny. Found in a jar. Changed a life. Now you're probably wondering, what made this particular penny worth nearly $1 million? Let's break it down. First, the missing mint mark. In 2014, most Lincoln cents were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philly coins usually have no mint mark. But this wasn't just any Philly penny, this was a rare die variety, a first strike coin from a misaligned die batch. That slight minting error made it dramatically valuable. Combine that with a pristine, untouched condition, and you've got a collector's dream. Second, the grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. This penny, MS69 red. Near perfection. And third, scarcity. When rarity meets high condition and collector demand, the price skyrockets. Let's pause for a second. How many pennies have you looked at today? 10. 20. How many did you check for mint marks, die cracks, or pristine finish? Exactly. Most millionaires don't find treasure, they recognize it when they see it. There are still 2014 Lincoln pennies out there worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're sitting in old coffee cans, dresser drawers, and forgotten piggy banks across America, and every day, people are spending them without a second thought, but not you. Not after today. So here's what you do: start checking every 2014 penny you come across. Look just below the year. Is there a mint mark? If not, that's step 1. Inspect the condition. If it looks freshly minted, with no scratches or dulling, it might be high grade. Flip it. Examine Lincoln's memorial or shield on the back. Look for unusual textures, doubled lines, or slight shifts in the design. Get expert verification. Don't trust just anyone. Use certified numismatic services like PCGS or NGC. Now, here's the urgency: as more of these coins are discovered, the market will shift. Scarcity drives value, but too many finds can drive prices down. That's why now is the time to act. Let me leave you with this: you don't need to be a collector. You don't need to be wealthy. All you need is one coin, and the wisdom to know what it's worth, because one penny can be the beginning of your millionaire story. And if you're still watching, maybe, just maybe, you're the next one to find it. So the next time you see a penny lying on the sidewalk, don't walk past it, pick it up. Your fortune might just be 1 cent away. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million. For a penny. Now before you rush to empty your coin jar, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to spot one, and why one small detail could mean the difference between a worthless penny and a life-changing fortune. This isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking wealth hidden in plain sight. And if you're like most Americans sitting on old jars of change, this might just be your moment. Let's begin with the coin itself. The 2015 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln Shield cent, was part of the ongoing series introduced in 2010. Most of these coins were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the kicker: the Philadelphia versions don't have a mint mark. Now usually, that's nothing special. Millions of coins come out of Philadelphia without a mint mark. But in rare cases, some of these 2015 pennies were struck with striking errors or die varieties that turned them into goldmines. And that's where the real story begins. So how does a penny go from pocket change to nearly $1 million? It starts with an error. In 2015, a small batch of Lincoln pennies was mistakenly struck with off-center errors, double dies, and incredibly sharp details, leading collectors to believe they were part of a misstruck test run or a rare early die state. Think about it: what's the first thing a collector looks for? Rarity, condition, and demand. And this coin checks all three boxes. And here's the chilling part: many of these rare error coins went into circulation unnoticed. Right now, one of them could be sitting in your wallet, in your piggy bank, or lost between your car seats. Feeling a little nervous yet? Because you should be. Now, before we jump into what to look for, here's a fun question to reset your attention: when's the last time a penny actually paid your mortgage? Or better yet, your entire house? Exactly. Let's talk specifics. If you're examining a 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, look closely at the details on Lincoln's face and jacket. A sharp, doubled image may indicate a double die obverse, a highly collectible error. Also, check for coins that appear slightly misaligned. Off-center strikes can raise the value significantly, especially in mint state condition. And then there's the holy grail: a penny struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was printed on metal meant for another coin, like a dime or a foreign coin. These freak accident pennies are what collectors dream of, and they're willing to pay six figures for them. But here's the million-dollar question: how do you know if yours is real? We're getting there. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. You might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. And you're right to be skeptical. After all, we're talking about a 1-cent coin flipping into hundreds of thousands of dollars. But remember this: the coin that sold for $934,000 wasn't discovered by a seasoned collector. It was found by an ordinary person. Someone like you. And here's the twist: the coin had been sitting in their drawer for years before anyone noticed. Still think it couldn't happen to you? Let's wrap this up with clarity, urgency, and action. If you have any 2015 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark, get a magnifying glass or a macro lens and start inspecting them today. Focus on doubling in Lincoln's eye, nose, or jacket off-center strikes or unusual edges, planchet color that looks off or silvery, any signs of sharp detail, raised areas, or unusual texture. If you see something strange, don't spend it. Get that coin authenticated by a professional grader, companies like PCGS or NGC. For rare error coins in mint condition, this is where you unlock serious value. And remember, condition is king. A flawless penny in mint state 67 or above. That's your golden ticket. Now here's the final cliffhanger: every year, more rare coins vanish because people don't know what they're holding. They get spent, lost, or tossed away. Don't let that be your story. Imagine this: you find the right coin. You get it graded. It sells at auction for $500,000 or more. And suddenly, you're living debt-free, traveling the world, or investing in your dream business, all because of a penny most people wouldn't look twice at. It's not just possible. It's already happening. So, what's in your pocket right now? A single Lincoln penny, no mint mark, no fanfare, just plain copper-plated zinc. That's the kind of coin that blends in, gets passed around, forgotten in car seats and kitchen drawers. But here's the twist: one of these overlooked pennies recently sold for an astonishing $930,000. Not in a movie. Not in a dream. In real life. Now, ask yourself, do you still think your pocket change is worthless? Today, we dive deep into the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Why it's causing such a frenzy. What makes it so valuable? And how you could be sitting on one, right now. Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll not only understand how ordinary coins can lead to extraordinary wealth, you'll also learn what to look for, how to sell, and how people just like you are cashing in. Let's rewind for a moment. The year is 2016. Millions of Lincoln pennies are struck at the Philadelphia Mint, hence, they carry no mint mark. Most were routine, mass-produced. But in the shadows, a few, very few, emerged with rare minting errors. These weren't immediately obvious. After all, who stares at a penny with a magnifying glass? But here's where the story shifts. A dedicated collector spotted something strange, a penny with an unusual die clash and doubling on Lincoln's profile. The coin was authenticated, certified, and placed in auction. The bids climbed fast. When the final gavel dropped, that little copper coin had fetched $930,000. Let that sink in. A coin you could find in your change today, could fund your retirement, your dream home, even your children's college tuition. And here's the kicker, these valuable coins aren't hiding in museums. They're hiding in your home. In your dresser drawer. In your childhood coin folder. But how do you tell a regular 2016 penny from a fortune? You look for these signs: strong die doubling on Lincoln's eye, jawline, or neck. Sharp clash marks near the date. Off-center strikes. Even a high-grade finish can boost its value astronomically. But don't worry, you don't need to be an expert. I'll show you exactly what to do next. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? No, I don't mean glanced at it before tossing it aside. I mean really looked at it, thought so. Welcome to the club. Most of us haven't. That's how the rare ones slip by unnoticed. That it's like finding out your old beater car is a limited edition Ferrari. If only you had checked under the hood. Here's the reality, time is not on your side. These coins are rare, but awareness is growing fast. Collectors are scouring eBay, auctions, estate sales. People are checking their jars, their piggy banks, their glove compartments. Every minute you wait, another 2016 penny could be found, certified, and sold, and the more that surface, the lower the exclusivity, and possibly the value. You see, what makes a coin like this hit $930,000 isn't just its error or condition. It's also timing. Demand. Rarity. Right now, the market is hot. Wealthy collectors and investors are paying top dollar for modern rarities. So if you find one, and you will, if you know where to look, you're looking at a life-changing moment. But only if you act fast. But be warned, this is where most people blow it. They find a strange penny, think they've hit the jackpot, and list it online without authentication. Or worse, they clean the coin, ruining its grade and value forever. The result: they turn a potential six-figure sale into a $10 mistake. Don't let that be your story. Step 1. If you suspect your 2016 penny has a rare error, do not clean it. Any alteration can destroy its value. Step 2. Use a jeweler's loupe or high-resolution photos to inspect details like doubling or minting defects. Step 3. Contact a reputable grading service. I recommend PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate the coin's authenticity and grade, and give you a certificate that serious buyers trust. Step 4. List it with the right auction house or coin dealer, not just random online marketplaces. You want serious collectors, not casual bidders. Step 5. Negotiate smart. Know your coin's market value and never settle for less than it's worth. And finally, and this might be the most important step, keep learning. Because this 2016 penny isn't a one-time fluke. It's part of a growing trend where modern coins, even from the last decade, are selling for thousands, even millions. That you're not just collecting. You're investing. So, here's your next move. After this video ends, grab a handful of pennies. Look for 2016. Then examine it. Carefully. Slowly. What you're holding might not be a coin, it might be a key to a new life. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing your luck changed, not from a lottery ticket, but from a penny you already owned. The question is, will you be the one to find it before someone else does? Don't let your future wealth sit in a jar any longer. Take action. Start today. A man in Pennsylvania checks his loose change before heading to work. Nothing unusual, just a few pennies, a nickel, maybe a quarter. But one penny looks a bit different. No mint mark. A sharp, glossy finish. He tosses it aside, that coin. A 2019 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. And today, it's worth up to $925,000, yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. Just one. Now valued at nearly $1 million, and the craziest part. You might have one sitting in your kitchen drawer. Don't believe it? Stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is so valuable, and how you can turn pocket change into life-changing wealth. But let me warn you, if you skip this, you might unknowingly spend a fortune on your next cup of coffee. Let's go back to the year 2019. A year of digital growth, political tension, and yes, a penny that would quietly rewrite the rules of modern coin collecting. The United States Mint released billions of Lincoln pennies that year. Most had a mint mark, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But then came the anomaly. A batch of pennies without any mint mark at all. Now, usually, coins from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. So why is this one so different? Because something in the production process went wrong, or maybe perfectly right. The result? A small number of 2019 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark, but strikingly unusual characteristics. What characteristics? Let's break it down. Collectors began to notice three key features: a high gloss, proof-like finish, almost mirror-like under the light, striking sharpness in Lincoln's profile, far more detailed than usual. A slightly off-center strike or doubling in the lettering, signs of a rare minting error. Now here's where it gets exciting, and a little nerve-wracking. Out of billions of 2019 pennies, only a handful matched this exact combination. That's what makes them so valuable. Scarcity. Demand. Mystery. And one of those pennies? Just sold at a private auction for $925,000, take a deep breath. That penny could be in your house right now. Still think coins are just for grandpas with magnifying glasses? Let's pause for a second. Did you just glance at your coin jar? Good. You should. Because the last person who did that, retired early and bought a beach house. Imagine telling your friends, yeah, I retired on a penny. They'd laugh, until you show them the receipt from the auction house. Back to the story, the market and the money. So who's paying these sky-high prices? Private collectors. Wealthy investors. Museums. Even international buyers who understand one thing: rare coins are a tangible asset, and their value only goes up over time. Let's look at some numbers. In 2023, a near-perfect 2019 no-mint mark penny sold for over $800,000. This year, one crossed 925. Experts believe it could reach $1 million or more in the next few years. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. These coins are being discovered, graded, and bought fast. The more that surface, the more the value stabilizes. That means the window for massive profit is closing, and if you don't check your change now, you might miss the opportunity of a lifetime. But how do you know if the penny you have is the right one? You can't just look at the date and cross your fingers. There are three specific things you must check, and here's the twist: if you overlook even one, you might throw away a fortune. Let's dive into it. First, the absence of a mint mark. Flip your penny. Under the date, does it say D or P? If yes, move on. But if there's no mint mark at all, and the date is clearly 2019, you have step 1. Second, examine the finish. Hold it under a light. Does it reflect like a mirror? Is it unusually shiny compared to others? That proof-like appearance is a major clue. Third, look for errors. This is where it gets technical, but potentially profitable. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Is there doubling? A slight misalignment? Any unusual spacing? These imperfections are the golden ticket. They signal that the coin wasn't just common, it was minted under rare conditions. Now, once you find a coin that checks all three boxes, stop everything. Do not clean it. Do not try to improve its appearance. You could destroy the value. Instead, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can turn your lucky find into a verified treasure, and from there. Auctions. Collectors. Cash, you might be thinking, this all sounds too good to be true. Every $1 million coin was once just pocket change, until someone knew what to look for. The call to action. So now the question is, will you check your change? Or will someone else beat you to it? Will you leave this video and go back to scrolling? Or will you go find the coin that changes your life? Because here's the truth, every coin has a story. But some can rewrite your story too. The 2019 Lincoln no-mint penny isn't just a coin. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A hidden doorway into a new lifestyle. One where wealth isn't a dream, it's a discovery. If you want more guides on coins that are making everyday Americans rich, subscribe now. Your future might just be sitting in your pocket. Don't miss it. What if I told you a single penny, just one, could be the ticket to a life you've only dreamed of? I'm not talking about a lucky charm or some gimmick. I'm talking about a real, verified 1982 Lincoln cent, no mint mark, that recently sold for $999,500. And here's the kicker, it wasn't found in a museum. It was pulled from a random coin jar, sitting in a kitchen drawer for over 20 years. Now stop for a second. Do you even know what to look for on your 1982 pennies? Most people don't. And that's exactly why this video could change your life, because buried deep inside America's spare change is a mystery, a rare coin with no mint mark, from a year when the US Mint made a mistake so subtle, most experts didn't catch it until decades later. But today, you will. So, before you spend that next penny at the gas station or let it slip into your kid's piggy bank, listen closely, because that tiny coin could be worth nearly $1 million. Let's uncover the truth behind the 1982 no mint mark penny, and why collectors are desperately trying to get their hands on one. Before you find yours first, back in 1982, the US Mint was making a critical shift. Copper prices were soaring, and the government decided it was time to cut costs. So they began switching from solid copper pennies to a cheaper, copper-coated zinc version. But here's where the story gets interesting, they didn't do it all at once. Instead, they made both types, copper and zinc, in the same year, and not just that. They made 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny, yes, 7. It sounds like overkill for a coin that's worth just 1 cent, right? Wrong, because in the middle of all this chaos, one ultra-rare version slipped through the cracks, a 1982 penny with no mint mark, made of solid copper, using a small date design, when it shouldn't even exist, and that coin. That's the one that sold for $4,999,000. But wait, there's something even more shocking. Experts believe there could be more of them out there, sitting in coffee cans, jars, glove compartments, completely overlooked. So why haven't more people cashed in? Because unless you know exactly what to look for, you'd never recognize this coin. And here's the part that gives me chills. People have unknowingly spent these pennies as just 1 cent, completely unaware they just lost nearly $1 million. Ever heard someone say, penny for your thoughts? Yeah, you might want to start thinking like a millionaire. Let's break down what makes the rare 1982 penny so valuable. First, no mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the twist, not all Philly pennies are rare. Second, it needs to be a small date design. This is a subtle difference, and if you don't compare it side by side with a large date version, it's nearly impossible to spot. Third, and this is crucial, it must be made of solid copper, not zinc. And trust me, this part's easy to test, just drop it on a hard surface. If it rings like a bell, copper. If it makes a dull clunk, zinc. Or, better yet, use a precise scale. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc? Just 2.5 grams. So now we've got the checklist, no mint mark, small date, 3.11 grams, find a coin with all 3, and you're looking at a potential jackpot. Still think it's just a penny? Let me tell you a story. In 2016, a man from Massachusetts was going through his late father's belongings. He found a tin of old coins, nearly tossed it in the trash. But something told him to check them first. One of the pennies stood out. He weighed it, 3.11 grams. No mint mark. Small date that he almost dropped it from shock. 6 months later, that same penny sold for nearly $1 million. 1 penny. One life changed forever, and here's where you come in. There are estimated to be fewer than 20 of these coins still unaccounted for. That means your odds of finding one are better than winning the lottery, and you don't even have to buy a ticket. Just look inside your change jar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, how would I ever find something that rare? Well, did you buy groceries last week and get a handful of change, have a drawer full of coins from your last road trip, still holding on to your grandfather's old cigar box of pennies? You're closer than you think. Most millionaires work decades to build wealth. But in this case, it's not about hard work, it's about knowing what to look for, and the best part. It costs you nothing. All it takes is a bit of curiosity, a careful eye, and a willingness to check the pennies you already own. You're looking for a 1982 penny with no mint mark, a small date, a weight of 3.11 grams. That's the magic combination. Anything less is just pocket change. Anything more, and you might be holding a $999,000 surprise. Here's the deal. Most people will watch this video, get excited for a few minutes, and then forget. They'll go back to their routine, never knowing they had a shot at life-changing money sitting in their own home. But not you. You watch to the end. You're the type who acts, and right now is the time to act. Go check your jars. Grab a scale. Start digging through your coin collection. Look for that 1982 no mint mark penny with the small date and the right weight, because someone will find the next $1 million penny. The only question is, will it be you? Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever held a single penny that could buy you a house in Beverly Hills? Because right now, there's a forgotten little coin sitting in someone's kitchen drawer, maybe even yours, and it's quietly worth $991,000. Not silver. Not gold, just a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Sounds impossible, right? But in the world of rare coins, mistakes are miracles, and this penny is a ticking financial time bomb, ready to explode in value any moment now. So before you toss your change in a tip jar again, watch this video to the end, because missing this could cost you nearly $1 million, and who knows, maybe your next trip to the grocery store could be your early retirement party. Back in 1980, the U.S. Mint struck over 7.4 billion Lincoln cents. That's not a typo, billion, with a B. Most were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but here's where the story turns. You see, Philadelphia coins didn't carry a mint mark at all. So technically, no mint mark isn't an error, but wait, stay with me, because here's where things get wild. That year, a tiny batch of 1980 pennies were struck with unusual planchets, rare die alignments, or double-struck errors, completely by accident. And one of them, verified by grading experts, had such a dramatic minting anomaly that collectors lost their minds. It recently sold for $991,000 at auction, not because it was made of precious metal, but because it was a 1 in billion fluke. A ghost. A unicorn. Let me break it down. Imagine flipping through your change jar and spotting a penny with no mint mark. You think, meh, just another old coin. But what if I told you this coin had a double die obverse where Lincoln's profile looks slightly shadowed, a die clash error that makes ghost images appear on both sides, a missing mint mark that aligns with rare planchet anomalies, and perfect preservation, graded MS-67 read by PCGS? Now combine all those things, and boom, $991,000. Let me guess what you're thinking. Okay, so how do I tell if I have that one? We're getting to that, but here's the cliffhanger. Most people throw these away. They see a rusty penny and think, who cares? You should care, because that coin could pay off your mortgage, your debt, and your kids' college tuition. Now let's zoom out a bit. Why do some pennies become six-figure legends while others stay, well, just pennies? It's not just about age. It's about minting mistakes. The bigger the screw-up, the better the payout. Condition, flawless coins. Jackpot, rarity of combination, an error plus no mint mark plus top condition equals goldmine. And don't forget this, collectors love coins that shouldn't exist. You want to know how to attract millionaires? Show them a coin that defies logic. Let's lighten the mood for just a second. You ever look at your couch cushions and think, yeah, that's where my retirement savings are? Well, it might actually be true. So maybe tonight, skip Netflix, dig through your coin jar instead. If you find a 1980 penny with no mint mark, don't scream yet that you'll need to inspect a few key things. Lincoln's face, look closely for doubling on the nose, chin, and Liberty reverse. Side, check for ghost-like outlines or die cracks on the Lincoln Memorial. Color, copper red tones are preferred. If it's still shiny, that's good. Preservation, no scratches, no bends, no corrosion. Then, if you even think you have something, submit it to PCGS or NGC for grading. They're the gatekeepers to six-figure coin value. Now here's the kicker, even if your coin isn't the $1 million one. There are lesser 1980 penny errors selling for $2, $800, $11, $400, even $44,000, depending on the anomaly. You don't need perfect luck, you just need one overlooked coin in top condition with the right error. Think about that. 1 penny could buy your freedom. Before we wrap up, just picture this for a moment. You find the right penny, you send it in, they call you back, it's real. Suddenly, you're not worried about bills anymore. You're not stuck in the 9 to 5 anymore. You're telling your family, we're taking a vacation, and I'm paying cash. This isn't just about coins. It's about a door that leads to something bigger, security, freedom, even legacy. So tonight, check your pockets, open that dusty drawer, look inside the old piggy bank from your childhood, because if you find the 1980 no mint mark penny that's worth $991,000, your entire life could change, and all it takes is 1 cent. They said it was just a penny. Just 1 cent, something you toss in a jar, forget in a glove box, or lose in your couch cushions. But what if I told you, one of those forgotten pennies, minted in 1984 with no mint mark, just changed someone's life forever, because last month, a 1984 Lincoln penny with a rare error sold for a mind-bending $988,000. Yeah. Let that sink in. Less than the price of a soda, now worth more than a fully loaded mansion in Florida. The question is, do you have one hiding in your house right now? You see, this isn't just about a coin. It's about freedom. For one lucky collector, this penny paid off their debts, upgraded their lifestyle, and opened the doors to a brand new reality. And for thousands more, it's a wake-up call. So before you dump that spare change in a Coinstar machine, listen carefully. Because this tiny copper circle could be your ticket out. Let's rewind to 1984, a year of cassette tapes, gas at $1.10, and the quiet birth of one of the most valuable error coins in U.S. history. Most pennies minted that year came with either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a tiny number, and I mean microscopic, left the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. Now you might say, wait, isn't that normal for Philly coins? Yes, but here's where it gets wild. Some of these 1984 no-mint pennies also have a dramatic die error, the double-ear Lincoln. Look closely at Honest Abe's right ear, and you'll see what looks like a shadow, a second, slightly misaligned ear due to a rare double die strike. It's weird. It's fascinating. And it's worth a small fortune. One of these rare double-ear errors recently stunned collectors when it went to auction and shattered expectations, pulling in a jaw-dropping $988,000. Not $9.88. Not $988. Nearly $1 million, for a single coin, and that's not even the top. Experts believe that as more collectors realize the rarity, and as supply tightens, the value could climb even higher. Imagine turning pocket change into a 7-figure payday, but here's the kicker, most people throw these away, because without knowing what to look for, it's just another penny. A mistake. An invisible fortune passed from hand to hand, ignored, abused, and eventually discarded. That should scare you. So let me ask you a weird question. How often do you actually look at your change? Not just glance, but really inspect it, because the truth is, hidden value doesn't scream. It whispers. And the 1984 no-mint double-ear Lincoln whispering right now could be sitting in your drawer, waiting to be found. Here's what you need to spot it. Step 1, grab a magnifying glass. Not kidding. You need one. Step 2, check the front, the obverse, of the coin. Focus on Lincoln's right ear. If you see a clear doubling, almost like he has a second ear growing behind the first one, congratulations, you may be holding a double ear error. Step 3, flip the coin. Confirm there is no mint mark under the year 1984. If it's clean, no D, no S, and has that double ear, you could be staring at a life-changing coin, but there's a twist: many fakes exist. Some scammers try to etch or strike their own doubling to fool buyers. So before you run to eBay with dreams of yachts and beachfront living, verify. Send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Professional certification is your golden ticket to a real sale. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what if I don't have the double ear? Is a 1984 no-mint penny still valuable? Great question. Even without the ear doubling, certain 1984 pennies with strong strikes, red color, or unique die varieties can still fetch $100 to $300, especially in mint state condition. Not bad for a coin that's 1/100th of a dollar, but the double ear? That's the unicorn. That's the jackpot. And that's what collectors are hunting night and day, which brings us to the most important question of all: why hasn't yours been found yet? Why hasn't someone knocked on your door with a check for $988,000? Why isn't your coin already in an auction? Because you haven't looked. Or maybe, you looked once, but didn't know what to look for. Here's your moment. Your second chance. Don't let it slip again. Set aside 15 minutes. Pull out your penny jars, that old coffee tin, the glovebox stash. Get a magnifier. Inspect every 1984 penny you own like it's a scratch-off ticket with 7 zeros hiding behind the foil, because the difference between worthless and almost a million is just one tiny error on one tiny ear. Now before we close, here's one more truth bomb: the person who found that $988,000 penny. They were just like you. They weren't a professional collector. They weren't rich. They didn't have access to some secret vault. They just cared enough to look. That's the only difference. So will you keep ignoring your pennies? Or will you finally give them the attention and inspection they deserve? The 1984 Lincoln no-mint mark penny could be your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity hiding in plain sight, but here's the catch: it won't wait forever. Someone's going to find the next one. Might be tomorrow. Might be this week, but if it's not you, you'll wonder forever what could have been. So go now. Check your change. Look again. Because if you find it, your story could be the next one we tell, and it all starts with a penny. They say lightning never strikes the same place twice, but what if it did? What if, sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer, your old change jar held something worth nearly $1 million, a simple penny, from 1985, with a tiny D mint mark? Sounds crazy, right? Well, someone just walked into a coin show with one, and walked out $982,000 richer. Now here's the kicker: they almost threw it away. This isn't some made-up tale. This is real. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, before it's too late, because while millions of these 1985 D pennies were minted, only a few, a precious few, were struck with a fatal mistake. That a minting error so rare, even seasoned collectors missed it, and if you have one, your life could change. Let's rewind time. Back in 1985, gas was $1.09 a gallon. Ronald Reagan was president. And the Denver Mint was churning out billions of pennies, but hidden among those billions, a tiny batch came out wrong. Some had doubling on Lincoln's eye. Others had off-center strikes or filled mint marks. But the rarest of all, in 1985, D penny with what experts call the ghost layer error, an ultra-rare die flaw that left collectors stunned. Imagine holding something in your hand that looks ordinary, but is secretly one of the rarest coins ever created. And that's exactly what happened to a retired machinist from Colorado. He'd been collecting coins casually. Nothing serious. Just a hobby. One day, while sorting old change with his grandson, he spotted a penny that looked a little off. He almost tossed it. But something told him to hold on to it. That something? That was fate. 2 years later, a coin dealer confirmed what he had: a 1985 D penny with a never-before-seen die crack and ghost doubling on the Lincoln profile. It sold at auction $4,982,000. Let that sink in. 1 cent. Traded for almost $1 million. Now before you grab your flashlight and tear through your couch cushions, here's the twist: most people have no idea what to look for, and here's where it gets urgent: these coins aren't just valuable, they're disappearing. Collectors are snatching them up fast. Dealers are combing through collections coast to coast. Every week you wait is a week someone else cashes in. Still think you don't have one? Well, maybe you do. Maybe that old penny you got in change at Walmart back in the 90s, the one you threw in a jar, is actually your golden ticket. That wouldn't it be ironic if the thing you've ignored for decades is worth more than your car? Okay, deep breath. Let's break down what you need to spot. The most valuable 1985 D penny has three key features. First, a crisp, visible D mint mark, but sometimes it appears distorted or filled due to a grease error. Second, signs of doubling, especially on Lincoln's eye, ear, and the word Liberty. These double die errors are worth big money. And third, the rarest, a subtle die crack that runs across Lincoln's shoulder or neck. That if you see that crack, don't hesitate, get it authenticated. Get it graded. And get ready for life to change, because once it's confirmed, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Still skeptical? Ask yourself this: why are collectors flying cross-country just to inspect someone's penny collection? Why are ordinary Americans making headlines for selling old coins for hundreds of thousands? Because in this quiet, niche world of numismatics, fortunes are hidden in plain sight, and you're one coin away. So, what should you do next? Start by grabbing every penny you can find from 1985, especially ones with a D mint mark. Use a magnifying glass. Study the date. Check for doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes. Even a small flaw could be a massive payday, and if you're unsure, reach out to a coin grading service. Get a second opinion. Because these coins are time-sensitive. Condition matters. Market demand matters, and right now, the demand is boiling hot. Let's not sugarcoat this. Most people will ignore this message. They'll close this video and forget it ever happened, but a few of you, you'll go check your change. You'll flip that 1985 D penny over, and freeze. You'll see something you've never seen before, and in that moment, you'll realize the truth: you were sitting on wealth this whole time, and nobody knew. Don't let that moment slip away, because when the auction hammer falls, and your penny hits $982,000, you'll remember today. This video. This warning, and you'll be glad you took action. Now go. Find that coin. Your future is waiting. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, that rusty old coin buried in your junk drawer, could be worth more than your entire retirement account? No, this isn't a joke. A 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has just sold for $976,000. Now here's the kicker: there are more out there, and one of them could be yours. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check your change like a pro, and why collectors are going absolutely wild over a coin most people overlook. This isn't just about a penny. This is about the kind of financial discovery that can change the direction of your life forever. Let's rewind. 1989, George H.W. Bush is president. The Berlin Wall is still standing, for now. And the U.S. Mint is pumping out billions of Lincoln cents. Most were ordinary. Nothing special. But a few, a very few, had something mysteriously missing: a mint mark. Now, here's where it gets strange. All pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1989 should have had no mint mark, right? Wrong. By this point, the Philadelphia Mint had actually started adding the P mint mark to most denominations, except for pennies. Which means collectors weren't exactly hunting for errors that year, but in a twist no one expected, a micro-run of these pennies left the mint with critical die anomalies, double dies, misplaced mint marks, and in ultra-rare cases, completely blank where one should have been struck. And this is where things get lucrative. Let's be honest, when's the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked at it, not just tossed it in the tip jar or cursed it for being too small to use in a vending machine. Yeah, that 1 cent could be the most expensive mistake you've ever made. In 2024, a retired postman in Ohio decided to finally go through the giant coffee can of coins he'd been saving for decades. Inside, a 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and a bizarre double die on the reverse. He nearly threw it out. Instead, he sent it to a coin grading service on a whim. Weeks later, he got the call. His 1-cent coin had been appraised at $976,000. He cried. Now think about that for a moment. After 40 years delivering mail, it wasn't his pension or his savings account that secured his family's future, it was a single copper coin hiding in plain sight. Do you have a coin jar? A drawer in your kitchen? Maybe a collection from your parents you never bothered to open? If yes, pause this video at the end, and check it. Seriously, because these coins are disappearing fast, either into private collections or overseas auctions. And every day you wait, is a day someone else cashes in. Just a moment, I'll tell you exactly what markings to look for, how to verify authenticity, and where to sell it if you find one. But first, there's a secret most collectors won't tell you. You see, most people think they need a microscope, magnifying glass, or advanced tools to spot a valuable penny. But in the case of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, it's all about what you don't see. Let that sink in. A missing mark. An invisible flaw. And a nearly $1 million payoff, and yet, every day, these coins are exchanged at grocery stores, gas stations, and yard sales for a measly penny. The window to find one is closing fast. Act 3, How to Identify, Action Steps, Emotional Close. Alright, here's what you need to do right now. First, grab every 1989 penny you can find. Flip them over and look closely, front and back. If there is absolutely no mint mark under the year, set it aside. Now here's the key, the rare ones often have more than just a missing mark. Look for doubling in the text e pluribus unum on the reverse, or distortions in Lincoln's eye and coat. These double dies are what drive the value to the $976,000 level. Next, test the weight. Genuine 1989 Lincoln cents should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is slightly off, lighter or heavier, you may have a transitional planchet error, which makes it even more valuable. Lastly, never clean the coin. Ever. Let a certified coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC, do the work. A cleaned coin can lose up to 90% of its value instantly. So no, soaking it in Coca-Cola to make it shiny is not a good idea, unless you like turning $976,000 into 97 cents. Before you close this video and check your change drawer, I'll leave you with one final thought. What if this coin isn't rare, because it's one of a kind? What if you find it, and your story becomes the next legend collectors whisper about for generations? You see, this isn't about pennies. This is about possibilities. It's about transforming something ordinary into something life-changing. So here's your challenge. Tonight, go through your change. Take a flashlight. Take a magnifier. Take your dreams seriously. But here's the kicker, it looks almost identical to every other penny in your pocket. The only difference? A microscopic detail that 99% of people miss, and it could make you rich. In this video, we're going to unlock that secret that will reveal what makes this 1992 penny so rare, how to spot it, and most importantly, how to know if you're holding on to a coin that could change your life forever. Stay with me, because if you click away too early, you might miss the one clue that separates a worthless coin from one worth $970,000. Let's dive in. Back in 1992, the US Mint made a subtle change, and most collectors didn't notice, but something went wrong. In Denver, a small batch of pennies were struck using the wrong design die, a mistake so slight, even trained eyes missed it. These coins were never meant to exist. But they slipped through the cracks, entered circulation, and disappeared into piggy banks, pockets, and junk drawers across America. Today, fewer than 20 of them have ever been found. Imagine walking around your house right now, and realizing one of those forgotten coins in your kitchen drawer is worth almost $1 million. Crazy, right? Well, not if you know what to look for. Here's where the story gets wild. In 2017, a man sorting through a box of old coins discovered a 1992 penny with what experts call a close AM reverse. Now, if you're thinking, wait, what's an AM? Is this coin trying to text me? Relax, I'll break it down. On most 1992 pennies, the words United States of America are spaced out, and the A and M in America have a visible gap, but in the rare close AM version, those two letters are touching. No gap. Just a tight little hug. That tiny detail, barely the width of a hair, is what separates a 1-cent coin from a $970,000 payday. And yes, the guy who found it He auctioned his coin and walked away with more money than some people make in a decade. Let that sink in for a second. A penny paid off someone's mortgage, and you're telling me you haven't checked your spare change yet? But here's where it gets even more urgent. Not only are these coins rare, but their value is increasing. In just the last 5 years, the price for verified 1992 close AM pennies has skyrocketed. One coin sold $4.24000, then another $4.58000, and now, this last one. A jaw-dropping $970,000. Why? Because collectors are scrambling to complete their sets. And they're willing to pay anything for this anomaly. So the question is, why haven't you checked yours yet? Okay. Here's how you check. Step 1, find a 1992 penny with a D mint mark. That's just below the year on the coin. Step 2, flip it over and look at the word America. Now, grab a magnifying glass, a camera zoom, anything, and look closely at the A and M. If there's a gap, sorry, it's not the one. But if the A and M are touching, stop everything. You might be holding a 5, 6, or even 7-figure treasure. Next step, don't clean it. Don't toss it. And definitely don't spend it. Instead, get it graded professionally by PCGS or NGC. These are the gold standard of coin authentication in the U.S. They'll tell you what it's worth, and buyers are already waiting, because here's the truth. In a world full of financial stress, rising prices, and uncertainty, the answer to your next big breakthrough might be sitting right in front of you, not in some investment app. Not in stocks or crypto, but in a penny that's been hiding in your home for decades. This isn't just about money. It's about a second chance. It's about the hope that something ordinary could be extraordinary. It's about finding out that your luck hasn't run out, it's just been waiting. So tonight, instead of scrolling your phone or watching the same shows, grab that old coffee can, the box in your closet, or the drawer in your kitchen. Start looking, because someone just like you, with no special training, no fancy tools, found a 1992 D penny and made history. Will you be next? Because one of the most overlooked coins in U.S. history, the 1995 D Lincoln penny, is turning ordinary Americans into quiet millionaires, and chances are, you've touched one without even knowing. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how a single letter on this coin, the D mint mark, holds the key to a life you never thought possible. A life of zero debt, beachfront mornings, and maybe, just maybe, telling your boss goodbye for good. But first, let me ask you, when's the last time you checked your coin jar? Still think pennies are worthless? Let's talk. And before we dive deep, if your wallet suddenly starts sweating, don't worry. That's just the sound of old money waking up, because what you're about to hear isn't just about copper and zinc. It's about missed chances, hidden fortunes, and how one man turned his dusty drawer into $966,000. With a coin that most people toss in a tip jar. Let's rewind to 1995. The Denver Mint was pumping out millions of Lincoln cents, over 7 billion, to be exact. But among them, something slipped through. A rare error. A misalignment. A double die. Some say it was caused by a worn-out die. Others whisper it was intentional, a quiet mark left for those smart enough to look closer. Whatever the truth is, only a handful of these rare 1995 D pennies exist. And one of them, sold for $966,000 at auction. Yes. $966,000 for a coin that cost 1 cent to make. And yet, it gets better, or worse, depending on where you're standing, because some of these rare pennies were never submitted to collectors. They're still out there. Circulating. Sleeping. Waiting. In pockets, purses, and piggy banks across America, maybe even yours. Now here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Most people will miss them, because the signs are subtle, the doubling on the letters is microscopic. The weight has to be exact. And if you're not looking for the right D mint mark placement, you'll toss it like yesterday's lunch receipt. And that's the nightmare. Imagine giving away $1 million coin to a vending machine for a bag of Doritos. Yeah, you'd be the punchline of every family story for the next 30 years, but don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to find it, and how to make sure you're not the one who throws away a 6-figure legacy by accident. Let's break This down, the 1995 D Lincoln penny that's worth nearly $1 million is no ordinary cent. Collectors look for a very specific error, the double die obverse. That means when the coin was stamped, it was struck slightly off, twice. This doubling causes the letters, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, to appear ever so slightly duplicated, almost like a ghost image layered beneath. Now here's the kicker, most people know about the 1995 no mint mark double die from Philadelphia, but the Denver D version, that's the ghost, few know it exists. Even fewer know what it looks like, which means, even today, sellers are letting them go for pennies, and buyers, the smart ones, are flipping them for six figures. That I mean, if that isn't the ultimate, buy low, sell high, I don't know what is. Imagine explaining that to your financial advisor. Yeah, I didn't invest in crypto. I just sold a penny. Now, let's talk strategy. Step 1, grab your magnifier, and not the $2 toy kind. You'll want a 10x loop or coin microscope. Step 2, check the date. If it says 1995 and has a small d just below the date, pause. Don't clean it. Don't scratch it. Don't even breathe too hard on it. Instead, look closely at the lettering. Liberty. In God We Trust. Is there even the slightest doubling? If yes, we're in business. But wait, here's the emotional gut punch. Thousands of people have found this coin, and then ruined it. They polished it, scratched it, tossed it into Coinstar machines, and just like that, what could have been a house, a debt-free retirement, or your child's college fund, gone. So here's what you do. If you think you've got the coin, seal it. Don't clean it. Store it in a dry, safe sleeve. Then, contact a certified grading service, like PCGS or NGC, and have them authenticate it. That if it checks out, you won't just have a rare penny, that you'll have a ticket to the life you've been working toward your whole life. Now let me ask you, what would you do with $966,000? Would you buy that lake house you saved on Pinterest? Would you help your grandkids graduate without debt? Would you finally take that Alaska cruise you've been putting off since 2003? That's the magic of rare coins. They don't just tell the story of America's past, they can write the next chapter of your future, but only if you know what to look for. So the next time you get change from the store, don't roll your eyes at the pennies, respect them, check them, because one of them could be the beginning of a whole new life. And hey, if you're still not convinced this is real, just remember, someone's walking around with $966,000 in their sock drawer right now. That don't let it be someone else, make it yours. Yes, almost $1 million. For a single cent. And here's the twist, there could be one sitting inside your home right now. In a dusty jar. In your kitchen drawer. Hiding in plain sight. Let me show you how to find it, before someone else beats you to it, because collectors are on the hunt. Prices are rising. And every day, another lucky American is cashing in, but only those who know what to look for will strike gold. It all began with a minting anomaly, a subtle imperfection in a sea of billions. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint struck over 8 billion Lincoln pennies. Most bore a tiny letter beneath the date, a D for Denver, or a P for Philadelphia, but a few rare specimens were minted with no letter at all. No mint mark. No explanation. No trace. At first, they went unnoticed. Who examines pennies that closely anyway? But as the years passed, sharp-eyed collectors started spotting patterns. Coins with sharper details. Unusual wear. And then, silence where the mint mark should be. Authentication experts were stunned. These weren't average coins, they were anomalies. Misprints. The kind of mistake that turns a 1-cent piece into a life-changing windfall. 1 verified 2000 no mint mark penny, found in a Pennsylvania attic, sold for $963,000 at private auction in 2024. Let me repeat that, a penny. Found in an attic. Nearly $1 million. Still think it's just a penny. So what exactly makes this coin worth so much? That's the million-dollar question. Literally, experts believe these coins were struck during a transitional minting process, a rare moment where old dies were reused, possibly by accident. The result: a clean coin with no mint mark, but microscopic details, like doubling in Lincoln's eye or misalignment in the base of the Lincoln Memorial. Little tells. Quiet signs. Hidden signals to those who know where to look. Point 1 Numismatist compared it to finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence, historic, valuable, and completely unexpected, and here's where it gets even crazier, only a few of these coins have been confirmed. Maybe 3. Maybe 5. That means yours could be next. Still watching? Good, because now I'm going to show you how to identify one of these miracle pennies yourself, step by step. Grab your old change jar. Yes, the one next to your fridge. Start with the year 2000 Lincoln pennies. Flip them over. Look just below the year. Do you see a small D or P? If you don't, and if the coin is in excellent condition, without excessive wear, you might just have something special. Now check for these error signs. First, doubling in Lincoln's eye or beard. Second, faint misalignments in the memorial pillars on the reverse. Third, a slightly thicker rim or off-center strike. Even if your coin isn't flawless, certain error variations have fetched tens of thousands. That if you're unsure, don't spend it. Get it graded. Because a 10-cent mistake could cost you $1 million payday, and trust me, nothing hurts more than watching someone else retire off the penny you spent on a gumball. You might be asking, why now? Why is this penny suddenly worth $963,000? The truth is, timing. The coin market is booming. Collectors are desperate for fresh finds. Rare U.S. errors are commanding record prices. It's the perfect storm, and with inflation rising, even millionaires are turning to rare coins as physical assets, a safe haven that fits in your palm. The rarer the coin, the higher the demand. And the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? It's nearly extinct. You list your coin. Bidding starts. $1,000, $5,000, $40,000. The crowd gasps as it crosses $100,000. A collector from New York calls. I'll offer $600,000, cash. But then a private investor UPS it to $963,000. That's the power of knowing what to look for. That's the kind of future one forgotten penny can unlock. Let's be real. Most people will miss this. They'll keep throwing pennies in tip jars, letting opportunity slip through their fingers, but not you. You stayed. You learned. You listened, and now, you have a shot at finding the coin that could rewrite your financial future. So don't wait. Check your drawers. Check your car. Ask your parents. Look everywhere, and if you find one, don't brag to your neighbor yet. He might beat you to the grading office, because the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is no longer a myth. It's $1 million reality, but only for those who act fast.